This lesson covers your introduction to verbs. Keywords: verb, subject, regular versus irregular, types, tense, mood, voice, gender, and number. In the mentor text, portion in quotations below, list all the verbs that you find, then answer the questions that come afterwards. When he swung suddenly to face them as they loomed over him, they saw that his countenance was ravaged by starvation. List your verbs. Then tell me which ones are action verbs and which words make up a verb phrase. Pause your video now and do the What Do You Notice section. I will be looking for these questions, this list, in your notes. This is what you should have noticed. For your verbs, you had swung, to face, loomed, saw, and was ravaged. Swung, faced, and loomed, as well as saw, are all action verbs. The words was ravaged are a verb phrase made up of the helping verb was and the main or action verb ravaged. Verbs are the part of the sentence that show an action or state of being. This is otherwise known as the predicate. You always have a subject with a verb. A subject is a person or a thing who is committing the action or who has the state of being that's being described. Verbs come in different types. They can be action verbs, they can be linking verbs, or they can be helping verbs. Action verbs are your most common. This is what you usually think of when you think of a verb. They can also be regular or irregular, which we will talk about later. But verbs also change in many ways. They can change in tense, the time that the action is taking place. They can change in mood, the intent the verb is showing. They can change in voice, which shows us who is committing the action. They can change in gender, whether the subject is male, female, or neutral, he, she, or it. They can change in number and be singular or plural. So verbs are very variable, and how they vary affects our grammar. What I want you to do right now is practice. Identify all of the verbs in the following sentences. Pause your video and do this practice section in your notes. Please remember that practice and what you notice sections are not your summary section. Your summary is a restatement in complete sentences of the main idea. Prior to that, everything should be in telegraphic sentences. Unless you are doing a practice sentence like this where you need to write the sentence out. Identify the verbs in the following sentences. When you're done, check your comprehension. You're going to use the answer key in the assignment comments to check your answers. And then you're going to take the practice quiz. Please remember to bring your notes to class so that you have them for the open notes quiz.